Last week, I came across this article. It was talking about how 50 people had been fired from a hotel and casino called Resorts World in Vegas, and I was trying to find it. But as I was looking for it, I came across this post in Vegas Locals that says casino layoffs. This person says, I work at a casino on the Strip, and layoffs are starting to happen throughout many departments. Not sure if it's just happening because the property I'm at, without giving away too many details, isn't performing well financially, or if these are telltale signs of recession. Any other casino workers noticing this? And this post got people talking, and I thought that it was interesting because I have been talking to my husband, and I was talking about how things are about to start hitting Vegas because Vegas is a tourist state, and we get international people here, and we get people here coming from all over the United States. But if people are holding on to their money, then how are they going to travel, especially since Vegas is getting more expensive, at least according to the locals. We just got here, so we don't really have very much to compare it to. But I thought that this was interesting because people are really talking about how it used to be and how it is right now. So I'm going to go through some of these comments because I think that it is very important to know and understand how these cities and these states that rely on tourism are about to be hit. All right, so this person whose name is like 211 and a bunch of other numbers says, work for an MGM property, and they have been eliminating positions such as housekeeping dispatch, PAD dispatch. The buffet had a layoff. Our union representative said every department will be hit. The organizer said it's not like 9/11 or 2008 where the layoff is due to recession. These layoffs are permanent and just for the company to maximize profit. Then again, I don't know anyone who has been laid off in my casino. My managers are saying it's all rumors, so I don't know. Red Knight Agent says, just chiming in from the other empire, and the other empire probably means Caesars, saying, and it's the same here, hundreds of people laid off at my property, thousands across the Strip, and they're still coming. Similar reasoning here, not really recession related, more so maximize profits during a time of uncertainty due to many reasons other commenters have mentioned. Unfortunately, we proved that we can survive and turn a profit with skeleton crews back during COVID. So the fat is being trimmed, and by fat, I mean the muscles. And then the OP that started this post says, this is unfortunate. I can definitely see the department I'm in being changed and downsized for the sake of company profit. If only they realize cutting people doesn't make them more money. Then Tooth Street says, who do they think comes to gamble? It ain't the 1%. The middle class and lower are who sustain the economy. Rich people don't buy Fords. And then Dango and Fishgone says, to be honest, as someone who works in the casino cages, I can tell you this is wrong. Most normal people only gamble somewhere around $100 or less in a week. But the high rollers are doing $100 per spin or more. It's 100% the rich that matter when it comes to gambling in 2025. The highest tier that isn't invite only requires an accumulation of 50,000 points. And the cheapest way to get there is slot play, which is around $4 a point. So everyone at that level lost at minimum 200,000 in just slots. Each one of them is worth way more than the middle. Sucks to hear, but we honestly don't matter to these casinos. I was saying, Burns says, how does it work at lower end places like Circus or Excalibur? I can't imagine they have lots of high end people going to gamble, but I'm not in the business. And then Dango and Fishgone says, I couldn't tell you, but Excalibur is owned by MGM, yes? I wouldn't be surprised if as part of MGM, they offer better perks to high rollers to play at some of these properties or have special events at them, such as a tournament at that specific property. Even if they mostly gamble and stay at Bellagio, if they have a slot tournament event at Excalibur or Luxor that drives those players to play there. In the case of Circus to Circus or just Circus, now you understand why there's a rumor of it being sold. Casino industry is held up probably by the 20% or whatever percent you want to call millionaires with money to spend. The casinos are competing with each other for that 20% of people. The rest of us don't really matter, which is why we don't see any benefits from the reward programs until you spend or gamble in the region of around $25,000 for most companies. See, I don't know any of this. I have never gambled before. So this is kind of crazy, and I thought that this would be interesting to y'all too. Tooth Tree says, I work at the Bellagio, so I hear you. The invite-only high rollers are not where a casino makes their money. You are speaking about wealthy gamblers. I'm talking about the 1%. What I was trying to say is that it is the totality of the working class that carry the industry. The working class are the people which all markets are based on. The 1% are not the ones that spend the most in a casino. Rich people do not spend and carry the economies of the world, and that's a fact. Professional Reed says, I don't work in a casino, but layoffs happened at my warehouse job last month. 7 people got laid off at a staff of 23, down to a skeleton crew. The other warehouse in a different state also had around 80 layoffs. Just save, 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 expect the worst and hope for the best. Someone responded, and that made Professional Reed says, rugs and carpets industry. We do ship to casinos, but we also ship to other individuals and other businesses. And this is going to be important because it's going to have a ripple effect that we've been talking about, or a cascade effect, because it's not just going to touch one industry. All of these layoffs are going to touch other industries. And if people keep getting laid off, that means that folks will not be traveling. People will not just be going and doing vacation types of stuff. So that's one of the reasons touristy states will be impacted. Mr. Frankie Stein says, not just casino. I work for a big Vegas company. We were just told after this month, the company is going on a hiring freeze for the remainder of the year. So all of these people that are about to be hit because they work at federal jobs is still going to be iffy in the private market because of the the Trump session, the Trump tariffs, and the Trump trade war. I think this is interesting too. Suspicious Shock says, casinos should have never went publicly traded. They are not built to sustain the expectations of shareholders. There's only so much blood that can be squeezed out of the proverbial turnip. We are beyond the tipping point. The current administration demonizing foreign visitors is not doing Las Vegas any favors either. And then Ill Replacement says, not just casinos. Insurance, healthcare, energy, finance. They all minimize customer satisfaction over shareholders. I don't know how the C-suite doesn't see that this is unsustainable. Maymay the Duck says there are no incentives to travel there to gamble anymore. Comps are awful. Resorts fees and parking fees are insane. Vegas doesn't offer anything different than my local casinos. That's why I said this is kind of interesting, because I just started going to these hotels just last year, and the resort fees are like $50. Parking is like $20 a day. So it's definitely unsustainable unless you have some serious money to be doing that. This person says, and you might not be able to return home because if you gamble away all your money, that is going to jack you up. Now, I wanted to get to this person named Tupper Baby. I'll do that. I had to switch pages. So Tupper Baby says, and yet half of the commenters here claim it's Orange Man and his policies that somehow in only 2 months, and with those numbers not even posted yet, are to blame. This has been building since the big two bought everything up and then sold their land to make the books look good. Bad decisions catch up to you. And then Lala Sportiva says, nah, companies are quietly laying people off in preparation of a Trump session and less global tourism due to the orange turds' idiotic economic plan. If things don't turn out too poorly, then they'll have saved money and look good to the board. But then they'll keep things lean until he's out. If things get worse, they'll already be ahead of the plan and continue with the layoffs. I honestly think it's going to be a culmination of all of this. Profits, because, who doesn't want to make profits? And also because they're preparing for this Trump session. They're preparing for tourism being down internationally and domestic. It's going to be a mess. And I am here in the thick of it in one of these tourist towns. So I'm definitely going to be watching out for the data points and seeing, are the prices for the hotels going to drop? How much tourism will drop in over the summertime, because I'm sure that this is a big moneymaker, or supposed to be a big moneymaker. And if the tourists don't come internationally or domestically, this is going to impact the people who work down here on the Strip and these other casinos and hotels. Anyways, I thought that was interesting. Join the conversation. Let me know what you see if you live in a tourist state or city. Don't forget to like, comment, and share. And if you are not yet following me, I'm trying to get to 75,000 subscribers on YouTube. So go ahead and give me a follow.